Good morning, everybody. It's about 10 o'clock a.m. on a Monday in Perth, Western Australia, and I'd like to talk to you about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, last night I was speaking to my group of Warhammer fanatics from around the world, and some of them, I suspect, do work with GW. Nothing's ever really said, but you get that feeling. I was told last night that, well, to begin with, I was spouting the fact that it's going to come out on the 28th. It's the most logical point. If it didn't come out on the 28th to be announced, it had to be announced on the 30th at the very latest. So I was told last night, quite unanimously, that I was very incorrect. It will not come out for, talking about on the 28th. So the general consensus was that it's going to be announced on the 30th, which is, I was close. I was off by a week, so I was half right. The problem I'm hearing, and this is where it gets a little murky, it'll be a 2-week turnaround before you can get your miniatures. So much like Leviathan, they'll announce it, go out for pre-order, and then you've got 2 weeks to put all your orders in, and then it'll be released. Now, disturbingly, this makes a lot of sense, and I'll tell you the other parts of the rumor in a minute. So, if it's got a 2-week turnaround, they got 2 weeks to build up the hype, and they will have it all over the webpage, on social media galore, spamming it like crazy, and they have to. I mean, it's August, September, October. It's 3 months behind. So, hype train, well gone. So they have to really cram it hard if they want to do it. And so 2 weeks makes it more understandable. So I get it. And, that way they can make sure they've got everyone's orders and they can milk you for all your money. The other rumor I heard was, and this was talked about in the group, and no one would neither deny it or accept it or whatever, but they said that they may bring out an expansion with the box set coming out. Now, we're not too sure if that's like, when you get this box set, you will get a free expansion, or hey, we're going to release this box set, and you can also buy an expansion as well. So I'm guessing it'll be the bikes and the speeders and so forth. A lot of people were hopefully saying that they will give you that expansion free because of the long wait and so forth. And there has been a lot of grumblings about the fact of, I've got to buy this box set and I already need to buy an expansion for the bikes and speeders. So take of that what you will. I would like to think the fact that the Games Workshop will say, hey, look, we've delayed this by 3 months, and as a reason for you to buy it, we're going to give you this expansion free of charge. Now, Games Workshop are not well known for their freebies. I mean, I still remember I used to get a Necron model on the White Dwarf. I bought a lot of White Dwarfs, I can tell you. But those days are long gone. It's nice to think of the fact that they will give you, like, a book free of charge when you buy the main game. I mean, I don't think it'll be a case of you can buy like a book and a whole lot of miniatures. There's either be some, bikes and speeders, or it'll be a book, or it might be, something. Bikes and speeders is what I think it's going to be, if it even happens. And I don't think it will. So we'll find out on the 30th. It's only another week. And then if it is announced, we can then wait another week. And then we can pre-order it. And then we wait 2 more weeks. And then we get it. So, but I've got to admit, they're cutting it close. They really are. They've got the Christmas box sets coming out in December. So this comes out, let's say, I think it's the 18th or something of November. That's middle of the month. That gives them only 2 weeks to, get any more sales in before they start, the hype train for the Christmas box sets. That said, I mean, I can see it going for about a month. So let's say it comes out on the 18th until about the 10th or 12th of December. They can just ram it up as much as possible and then leave it alone, bring out the Christmas box sets, and then January, bring out an expansion, bring out this, bring out that. And then, we've got the old world coming back, which I must admit I'm excited about. I mean, the old world, I don't know how they're going to do the old world in some respects because, all right, so you got your rule book. All right, cool. And then you've got the new, not new, but you've got the old races. For people like me, and this I've spoken to at length over the years, most people have their armies. Most people have all their dwarves or all their Bretonians or their, undead and so forth. So for them, the rulebook is the only really selling point. So GW and Forge would really have to up the ante. So they've got to know the fact that most people aren't going to want to buy more undead. So for me, I've got tons of Khemri, boxes and boxes. All I really need is a War Sphinx of sorts and maybe another Cetra model. That's about it. So from a GW/Forge point of view, they've got to go, all right, well, this guy's got a lot of Khemri. What can we do? So they're going to have to bring out some really amazing new models. And don't get me wrong, they can redo like the Abshanti, maybe have them looking even bigger and better and more impressive. People are going to buy them. But rank and file, I don't know. I think rank and file, we're going to see the same miniatures, and we will see the same miniatures for the first year. And then what will happen is, if it's really taken off, then they'll go, well, let's bring out some rank and file new and improved, and then that will be taking off. So you can see these two things in front of you, and I want to quickly talk about those before I get off. Now, I made mention the fact that I was going to do a statuette, and here she is. Now, it's it's quite big and gothic, and it's like a woman of the Empire of some description. She's taking a bit of damage there, and she's got like, the nice motherly face and get into battle. So, it's quite an interesting thing. I was going to initially do it in marble, but with the 3D print, I was worried it might look a little bit odd. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it up like a normal piece of rock face. So it's going to be like a dark brown, light brown, and so forth. And then I'm going to paint patches of it with like paint. So it looks like it was originally colored, but over the years and wear and tear and so forth, it's just, gone to pot. And I'm thinking about having this part here look once again like quite fleshy and so forth, and have this side sort of like bare stone, and the eye still glowing red or something. I don't know. A friend of mine did say, hey, what you need to do is just drill a big hole all the way through and have a little LED in there. And I'm like, that's a great idea, but if you've ever worked with PLA, yeah, not a good thing. You would want to just like, do that beforehand with a bit of ZBrush before you print the damn thing. Otherwise, it's messy and it's annoying. So that's the idea. The other idea is, the other thing I've got printed out was a landing pad. This is quite simple. It took about an hour and a half to print out. And the main reason I've done this is you can use it for things like tanks and such if you wanted to, but it's a landing pad. Most, from what I understand of the flyers, fly and hover only. But things like the gunships and so forth, I don't know. If they're troop transports, they go down and away we go. So, a landing pad kind of makes sense. Now, I don't think it's going to be a case of flyers can only land on landing pads. I'm sure flyers, if they can land, will land everywhere. But if they can land, it's nice to have a couple of landing pads on the board anyway. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to paint up the young lady here, and I'm also going to paint that up, and I have a few other things, as you can tell, to paint up as well. I must admit, I am a little disappointed in GW with not releasing it last night. It would be nice to be right for once. And hopefully, next week we will see, it being announced on the 30th, and we can go from there. I will do a couple more videos during the week. However, I really need to get on top of my painting. Really on top of it. I need to sort out some bits and pieces on the shelf over there as well. I'm running out of room for terrain, and I'm just adding more terrain, which I said there was going to be no more terrain, but here we are. And that's the thing. At the moment, this stuff here is PLA Plus from a company called 3D Phillies. While this stuff is problematic up the wazoo for here in Australia, it does make removing supports very easy, or easy-ish. This stuff is eSun PLA Plus, and it is stunning for pieces of terrain, but removing supports can be problematic and annoying. So I think for the moment I'm going to have to do Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, much like the face here. I'll have one side which is just the 3D Phillies PLA for anything that has supports and terrain and so forth, the eSun. That way, I get the best of both worlds. Anyway, everyone have a great day. Any questions, just ask. And fingers crossed, next Sunday we will see Epic being announced. Chaos signing off. Bye-bye.